The pandemic is like this roller coaster of an experience. When it first started, I remember somebody saying like, we're going to be in a 2-week quarantine, and I felt immediate anxiety because I want to do what I want. And so the idea of not being able to do what I wanted, I was like, I can't live this way. What's going to happen? And then it happened, and I was fine. And then I was like, oh, this is nice. The world has slowed down because I am a slow moving person in most ways. And I was like, this is great. Rest. I was in a new relationship, so we got to spend all this time together. Good or bad, take it or leave it, like it happened, and like you don't get that time in your relationships. And my kids, like it was like, oh, I can breathe. I felt so good. I loved being intentional about time I did spend with people. With work, I run an organization, and it felt good to be able to keep paying people, queer people of color, queer Black people. Felt subversive, so I felt empowered and all these things. I hit a wall or something probably about a month ago. And this was after even negotiating like my inner extrovert, but like sometimes I just need to talk to people. And how I realized what was happening, I was texting my ex-spouse, my ex-wife, for my second marriage, and she's like, I want to go to bed. And I was just like, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh my God, I haven't talked to many adults today. And I realized I just wanted interaction. I was like, okay. So every now and then I wanted to talk to people and be out there. But I hit this wall about a month ago, and I was having a hard time like getting out of bed each day, or I have multiple Zoom meetings every single day, as many of us do, and I found myself like napping in between calls and meetings and just not getting things done, and just really being like not slow and intentional, but almost lethargic, and brain fog. And I thought it was because of all the Zoom calls and my memory. I don't have a great short-term memory, and it just was like it was getting worse. And I went to my therapist, and I was explaining all this stuff, and I was like, I just feel so tired, and I can't remember things. I don't even know what's real sometimes, and just foggy. And she's like, that sounds like depression. I was like, you're right. It is. You're absolutely right. And I take meds for that every day. Yes, I am having symptoms of depression. And I didn't know. I didn't think I was being impacted that way. And so we talked, and we kind of got on a schedule for me, because I get to work from home, and wow, that was lovely for a while. Don't stay in your house every day. Don't do that. And so like it's getting showered and getting dressed and going to my office or a workspace at least 2 or 3 times a week. Something as simple as that I was able to tweak my mood. I've had to adapt to working with my kids in my home, and even though my oldest went to school, my daughter and I are roommates essentially, and like what does that look like, and what does time with her look like? And back to boundaries, she is not an extrovert, and she's doing online school, and sometimes she doesn't want to talk to me, and I don't have to take that personal. So it's just really simplified things in terms of defining and naming, and being clear about what I need and what recharges me. And I think, I shared before, time to myself or time one-to-one or in small groups actually recharges me in a way I wasn't aware until this pandemic. And so now, as we look forward to the future, which we know is completely different, we don't know what that is, I'm really clear about what makes me feel the most alive, what charges me, what rest, anything. I think abundance and rest is necessary, but anything over, so that too much of anything is also not good. And so finding balance in the rest, and making sure that just because I get to be home, am I still setting time aside to think and be creative and being clear about those things. So that's how it's impacted me. I remember I was reading something recently about the governor saying we're not going to shut down, we're going to slow down. And it just felt like such a meaningful thing. And I don't know if Governor DeWine meant to be that deep about it. But it was like slowing down versus shutting down. It took me all the way back to 9-year-old me and all my survival skills and all the things in my trauma work and the hypervigilance and the we don't have to shut down. We can slow down. And so now I get to think about slowing down in my own life and what that looks like inside, in my relationships, in the work I'm doing in the world, whatever it is. I don't have to shut down. I just get to slow down.